Have you ever wondered why some men just walk away never to return? It's not because they're weak, it's because they're strong enough to know when to leave. They don't explain, they don't argue, they simply vanish, leaving you to wonder what went wrong. These men are Sigmas, and their silence is louder than any words you'll ever hear. Welcome to the Sigma male community, where we dive deep into the mindset of men who live by their own rules, guided by strength, independence, and an unshakable moral code. Today we're pulling back the curtain on the 11 things that make Sigma males walk away forever. These aren't petty grievances or emotional outbursts. These are the deep, structural fractures that force a Sigma to sever ties for good. If you're here, it's because you either are one or you're trying to understand one. Either way, you're in the right place. Let's get started. 1. The betrayal of trust, the unforgivable fracture. For a Sigma male, trust isn't handed out like candy. It's earned piece by piece through observed consistency and integrity. It's the foundation of every connection he allows into his life, and it's as rare as it is precious. When that trust is shattered, by a lie, a broken confidence, hidden motives, or even a pattern of minor deceit, it's not just a disappointment, it's a collapse of the entire structure he built around you. Imagine a bridge, painstakingly constructed over time, suddenly crumbling under the weight of betrayal. He doesn't rage or demand explanations. He simply recalculates your place in his world and concludes that you're unreliable. The fracture is absolute. With cold precision, he severs the connection and you become part of the noise he tunes out. There are no second chances, no rebuilding, you're gone, replaced by an impenetrable wall of silence. This isn't about holding grudges, it's about self-respect. A Sigma knows that surrounding himself with unreliable people is a recipe for chaos, and he values his peace too much to let that happen. He walks away because staying would mean compromising the clarity and strength he's cultivated within himself. It's a decision rooted in rational thinking. Why invest in a foundation that's already proven faulty? Every step he takes away is a step toward preserving his integrity, a choice to honor the man he's worked to become. That's the Sigma way, decisive, deliberate, and unapologetic. 2. The assault on solitude, invading the inner sanctum. Solitude isn't loneliness for a Sigma, it's his operating system's essential reboot. It's where clarity sharpens, energy regenerates, and the chaos of the world is processed into meaning. This isn't a luxury, it's a necessity for his mental and emotional survival. Disrespecting this, by demanding attention during his recharge, intruding uninvited into his space, or guilting him for needing isolation, is like pulling the plug on a critical mission. Picture a lone wolf retreating to its den, only to find it overrun by noise and demands. He doesn't see it as concern. He sees it as an attack on his autonomy. You become the chaos he retreats to escape, and that's when the silent exit begins. A Sigma understands that true strength comes from within, and solitude is where he hones that power. When you invade that space, you're not just interrupting, you're threatening his equilibrium, his ability to function at his peak. He doesn't lash out or plead for understanding. He removes the threat with surgical efficiency. You're no longer a person in his eyes, you're a drain, and he cuts you out to protect his core. This is resilience in action, choosing peace over entanglement, even if it means walking alone. For a Sigma, solitude isn't a weakness, it's his fortress. 3. The poison of emotional manipulation, weaponizing vulnerability. Sigmas despise inauthenticity, and nothing reeks of it more than emotional games. Guilt trips, passive aggression, manufactured drama, or using tears as a control mechanism are instantly detected and utterly rejected. He sees through the performance to the underlying attempt to steer him or drain his energy, like a snake charmer trying to hypnotize a predator. This isn't weakness, it's toxic warfare against his peace. He won't engage in the battle or call you out, he simply identifies the poison and excises it with precision. Your attempts to manipulate become the reason you vanish from his reality, erased like a shadow in the light of his clarity. Emotional control is a cornerstone of a Sigma's strength. He's not cold, he's deliberate, choosing to master his own feelings rather than be a puppet to someone else's. When you try to weaponize vulnerability, you're not just playing a game, you're challenging his sovereignty over himself. He walks away because he refuses to let anyone dictate his emotional state. It's a powerful reminder. Real connections are built on honesty, not theater. Stay true or lose your place in his world, it's that simple. 4. The erosion of autonomy, the silent cage. Independence is a Sigma's compass, his strength, his defining trait. Any attempt to control, dictate, or undermine his self-direction, whether through overt demands, subtle suggestions, or micromanagement, is an attack on his core identity. It's like a bird of prey being tethered to the ground, wings clipped by someone else's rules. He perceives it instantly, not as care but as a cage being built around him. A partner dictating his social circle, a boss controlling his methods, a friend imposing their timeline. These are death knells. He doesn't argue against the bars. He walks out of the prison, leaving the jailer behind without a word. Freedom isn't negotiable for a Sigma. It's the air he breathes. Staying in a situation where his autonomy is eroded would mean suffocating the essence of who he is. He chooses the open sky over a gilded cage, not out of stubbornness, but out of loyalty to his own path. This is self-mastery in practice. Recognizing when a situation no longer serves his growth and having the resolve to leave it behind. Every Sigma knows this truth. Real strength lies in the ability to walk your own road, no matter who tries to chain you to theirs. 5. The mockery of core values, the unbridgeable chasm. Sigmas operate by an internal, unwavering moral code: honesty, integrity, self-discipline, authenticity. These aren't hobbies, they're non-negotiable pillars. When someone consistently disregards, mocks, or pressures him to compromise these values, encouraging dishonesty, glorifying superficiality, or dismissing his principles as too rigid, it reveals a fundamental incompatibility. It's like two ships sailing toward different horizons, one chasing depth, the other skimming the surface. He doesn't try to convert you, he recognizes an unbridgeable chasm. Your worldview becomes incompatible with his existence, and he turns away without a fight. Living in alignment with his values is how a Sigma finds fulfillment. It's his North Star. Staying would mean betraying himself, dimming his own light to match your flicker. He walks away not to punish you, but to protect the clarity and purpose he's forged within. This is rational thinking at its finest. Why waste energy on a connection that pulls you off course? For a Sigma, authenticity isn't optional, it's essential. Cross that line, and you're left watching his back as he moves toward a horizon you'll never understand. 6. The demand for forced vulnerability, breaking the inner seal. Sigmas reveal themselves slowly, organically, and only to the truly trustworthy. Pressuring him to open up or perform vulnerability on your schedule is a profound violation, like a thief prying open a locked vault. Interrogating his feelings or weaponizing his natural reserve, you're so closed off. Feels like an assault on his deepest sanctuary. He interprets this not as care, but as entitlement to parts of himself he hasn't granted access to. The response is immediate, complete emotional and physical withdrawal. You pushed too hard and now you're locked out forever, staring at a wall you built with your own demands. Self-mastery means controlling what you share and with whom. It's a Sigma's shield and strength. When you try to force your way in, you're not building trust, you're breaking it. He doesn't owe you his soul on your timeline, and he'll protect it by removing you from his orbit. This is resilience in action, guarding the inner world that keeps him whole. A Sigma's silence after this isn't punishment, it's preservation. Respect his boundaries or lose him entirely. 7. The disrespect of time, the ultimate arrogance. A Sigma's time is his most precious resource. He guards it like a warrior guards his sword. Chronic lateness, flakiness, or expecting him to wait indefinitely signals profound disrespect. Wasting his time with meaningless small talk or demands for attention without substance is equally offensive, like tossing gold coins into a fire. He sees it as arrogance, the assumption that your time matters more than his. He doesn't complain, he stops investing. You become a time sink, an inefficiency to be eliminated, and he redirects his energy elsewhere without a second thought. Living with purpose is a Sigma's creed. He allocates his time intentionally, cutting away anything that dulls his edge. When you disrespect that, you disrespect his entire way of being. He walks away because he knows his energy is finite and his goals are not. This is rational thinking in practice. Why let someone steal what you can't replace? Every minute he reclaims is a minute he reinvests in himself. That's the Sigma mindset. Time is power and he won't let you squander it. 8. The challenge to self-reliance, doubt as an insult. His capability is hard-won, forged through trial and triumph. Questioning his competence, offering unsolicited help, or trying to take over his responsibilities is a fundamental insult. Like telling a lion he can't hunt. It whispers, "You're not strong enough." He doesn't need rescuing. He needs respect for his proven ability to navigate his own path. A partner constantly fixing things, a colleague undermining his solutions. These actions chip away at his core. He won't argue. He'll prove himself by succeeding without you, leaving you in the dust. Self-reliance is a Sigma's backbone. He thrives on it. When you doubt that, you're not just questioning his skills, you're questioning his identity. He walks away to environments where his competence is assumed, not challenged, because staying would mean shrinking to fit your skepticism. This is resilience at its peak, trusting in your own strength even when others don't. A Sigma doesn't need your validation. He needs your respect, and without it, he's gone. 9. The violation of personal space, the sanctum breached. This transcends physical proximity. It's the holistic ecosystem he needs to function. Physical territory, mental bandwidth, emotional atmosphere. Ignoring boundaries, dropping in unannounced, constant texting, or crowding him socially, is an act of aggression against his equilibrium. It's like a storm tearing through a calm forest, uprooting his peace. He feels suffocated and drained. This isn't dislike, it's a survival threat. He associates you with the violation and removes you to restore his balance. No explanation needed. Inner tranquility is a Sigma's fuel. He builds his life around it. When you breach that sanctum, you become the chaos he must eliminate. He doesn't negotiate with threats to his peace. He neutralizes them. Walking away isn't anger, it's necessity, a calculated move to protect what keeps him strong. This is self-mastery in motion, prioritizing his well-being over your comfort. Cross that line in your history. 10. The expectation of transactional relationships, the energy vampire. Sigmas engage authentically or not at all. They despise relationships built on, "What can you do for me?" Constant favors without reciprocity or emotional support that's never returned are red flags. He senses users instantly, like a predator spotting a parasite. When interactions feel extractive or conditional, his respect evaporates. He won't call you out, he'll simply stop being real with you. The connection becomes cold civility or vanishes entirely, leaving you wondering where he went. A Sigma preserves his energy for genuine bonds. He's not a resource to be tapped. Staying in a transactional dynamic would drain the vitality he guards so fiercely. He walks away because he values depth over utility, choosing solitude over shallow exchanges. This is emotional control at work, cutting off what doesn't serve his growth. You want a Sigma in your life? Bring something real or don't bother, he's already moved on. 11. The misinterpretation of silence, projecting your noise. A Sigma's silence is power, contemplation, observation, or comfort in stillness. Mistaking it for anger or disinterest reveals a profound lack of understanding, like shouting into a canyon and expecting an echo to explain itself. Bombarding him with, "What's wrong?" or filling his quiet with your chatter projects your noise onto his peace. He doesn't feel misunderstood, he feels incompatible. Rather than explain, he chooses permanent silence from you, fading away like a ghost in the wind. Reflection is a Sigma's strength. He thrives in the quiet spaces others fear. When you can't respect that, you can't coexist with him. He walks away because he refuses to trade his calm for your clamor. This is rational thinking distilled. Why stay where your essence is misread? His silence isn't a puzzle to solve, it's a boundary to honor. Fail that test and you're left with nothing but the echo of your own voice. If you've made it this far, you're not just watching, you're learning, reflecting, and maybe even recognizing these truths in your own life. That's what the Sigma male community is all about, providing real wisdom for men committed to growth, independence, and excellence. These 11 triggers aren't just reasons Sigmas walk away, they're lessons in self-respect, boundaries, and living authentically. Whether you're a Sigma carving your own path or someone seeking to understand one, take this with you. Strength isn't always about staying. Sometimes it's about knowing when to leave. If this hit home, smash that like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and share it with a brother who needs to hear this. And if you're already subscribed, turn on those notifications, because the Sigma male community isn't just a channel. It's your guide to stoic living and personal mastery. Until next time, stay strong, stay independent, and protect your peace like the warrior you are.